And welcome back to the Marketing Corner. Yours truly, Sean Campbell, and my esteemed co-host, Pastor John McClain.
Every time I hear that on there with co-host John McClain, I feel so proud. I feel like a proud brother, father, son of all things. I feel like so many things to you, because I think much like your relationship with our guests, and I won't do too much of a spoiler alert. With I remember the Colin part, and I already forgot the last part. That it's just like you guys have known each other for such a long time, wanted to connect. It seemed like God had a special connection with you two, but for some reason you just didn't know why. It just wasn't sinking your two ships in the
entrepreneurial
night,
sea,
in the entrepreneurial night sea, and yet it finds its way. And in God's time, it works its way out. So I'm blessed to be your co-host, and I'm blessed certainly to getting to know Colin
Riley.
Yes. Oh, Colin Riley.
It won't be the first time.
I'm
Colin.
a name you'll notice on my show, which actually airs 2 hours before this show every Sunday on KVOI, and also on 106.3 The Groove on Saturday at 7 a.m. That I am known as the name butcher on my show. Granted, I'm in the big boy seat where Sean sits on my show.
Well,
on the Common Good
butchered
radio
plenty
show.
of times on my show too, my friend.
Well, I try not to, because I care about you, Colin. And really, just sitting here with you, I have so much respect for you. And, the fact that of what Sean's already told me about you, it's like, man, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for, spending your time you're going to spend with us. I'm guessing we're going to have lunch. The cool thing that I love with Sean's guests, as well as with my guests on my show, and just this network, this Common Good network that we've created, including the I Am Real Estate show, and Ron Arenas is talking about doing his own show soon. We just have all this good, cool radio show hosts and all these amazing people that are, in the entrepreneurial marketing world around us, that are plugging in to kind of support the good people, and I appreciate you being part of that with us, brother.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I was super excited this morning and woke up, and I was going to have Colin Riley, and then our first guest is a brand new entrepreneur. So the theme of this show is really kind of the generational entrepreneurship, right? Yeah. Colin and I have crossed paths numerous times, literally over the last 20 years. Yeah. And our second guest, he's barely starting his journey.
That's wild.
But the best thing about today, remember last week with Christina Calderon? Yeah. And we were talking before the show. Unlike last week, I didn't have the guest want to give me a black eye. Yeah. Before the show.
That's true.
So Christina wanted to lay me out before the show. She's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
Definitely, she's an adamant professional, because once we got going, she was just
turned it on.
She
turned it on.
Good. You couldn't tell that she was about to choke slam you before the show began.
I'll take full responsibility. I it's not that I misspoke, because she didn't understand what I was trying to say.
No, you guys had your positions. You were strong on them, and it was good. You each, I think it was like iron sharpens iron.
Then I stepped away. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. We just
bowed down to the master.
You have to just know where we got to know when to hold them, when to fold them. Something.
I folded. Ran out.
Yeah. I as well as I do.
Engines,
I went on this 6-day trip with my wife, because she just defended her dissertation. Congratulations, my wife. She'll be walking in May to be a doctor in clinical counseling. And we went to Tennessee, Atlanta, and Savannah all in 6 days. Wow. And bad idea, horrible idea. But I'm here with you, my friend. We got back at 12 o'clock last night, but I'm here, and I'm proud to be here with you, my friend.
Enough about us.
Let's talk about
Riley.
the handsome man with the handsome hair. I used to have such beautiful hair at one time.
I'm jealous about
it was great.
So what have you been up to lately, Colin?
Oh man, we've been a kind of a serial entrepreneur since we kind of got out of college, and so real estate has been our passion.
When you say we,
when I
you
say
and your
we,
brother,
it's
right?
my brother and I. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've done a few different tracks, but I think we always come back to real estate because I think it affords creativity and problem solving.
So you're Colin Riley. What's your brother's name?
Rob Riley.
Rob Riley.
Yeah.
That's a cool name too.
Yeah.
You guys have cool names. Your parents weren't messing around, were they?
You know, it's great to great to be in a family business, and we talk to a lot of people that could never do that and envy us. So we feel very fortunate that
cool.
I think we try and don't outshine each other. We know our strengths,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
and we kind of bend to each other's
That's
strengths on
awesome.
that.
That's awesome to hear that. I think we had a female group that like we had a lady that on the show that her and her sister were like a partnership like that. Is that correct, or am I thinking about a different show?
Oh, you're thinking of Aaron and Nicole.
Yeah. And it's like that's cool. I mean, me and my siblings, I couldn't imagine us working together whatsoever. But that's cool that when you're able to work that. Well, I mean, I guess kind of like, if you don't mind, let's touch on that real quick. Like, what are some of the challenges and what are some of the perks in working with a sibling in comparison to, you know, I've had many partners of all different types. Sean's my partner in all regards. And we work out really well, but I think in a lot of ways we sought each other out to work. Where with your sibling, you don't get that same advantage.
Yeah, I think there's, you know, as you look at partnerships that split, it's generally a trust and a money thing. And so Rob and I both went to college together at Baylor University.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And I remember driving around. I studied entrepreneurship and marketing. Rob was finance.
Okay.
And we were driving around the campus and already looking at real estate speculation. Could we buy houses? Didn't really know how to get there. Didn't have really any knowledge. Our father was a physician, and so not a super, you know, in tune business guy. But I think it was a natural progression for us. I think we definitely are opposite and different. And so he is he's definitely a visionary. And can kind of see things that people maybe don't see, spot opportunities in advance, and then I like to execute, and so I don't step on his toes, and nor does he mine. And again, over 25 years of business together, we've really never had a disagreement about money, which is a blessing.
That is a blessing. That's definitely, there's some type of divine interventions in place there, because I mean, whether it's when parents are alive or not, you know, it's certain to be a reoccurring theme in why families have issues. So that's cool.
It's true. And you mentioned divine intervention. I mean, we definitely prayed a lot about whether this was the right path, because you know, you've seen it split families.
Yeah.
I mean, I buy houses now. I've seen $5,000, you know, cause a dispute with family members, not just talk to each other for the rest of their lives.
For sure.
So it's amazing how things can splinter if you're not careful. So. But thank God, I mean, we've really enjoyed the journey together.
You mentioned something about Rob, which is a little bit unusual. He's went to school for finance, but he's a visionary.
Yes.
I don't hear a lot of people in finance being a visionary.
It's true. I mean, I think we early in business together, we knew our personality and temperaments type, but I don't think you fully knew it. So he would sit down and he was kind of sharing an idea with me. And this is when we were first in business, and we had, you know, some staff, and I was like, gosh, that's a great idea.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
And, you know, within a few hours of the next day, I'm having a team meeting about it. And he's like, I was just talking. I was just spitballing ideas, you know, and here I'm trying to put it into action. So that kind of, that's a picture of us. He's great with numbers, great with finance, but again, I think it's a God-given talent to be able to see opportunities maybe that others don't see. I
cool.
kind of picture him at the edge of a boat, you know, with a binocular, you know, looking for the island ahead of us.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about you next segment. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the Marketing Corner with Sean Campbell on 1030 The Voice AM every Sunday at 4. I am Pastor John McClain, lucky co-host of Mr. Sean Campbell with Sean Campbell Marketing Group at Sean Campbell. What's your website again?
Just call me, 520-339-0259.
Exactly.
And we're back with the Marketing Corner with yours truly, Sean Campbell, my esteemed co-host, Pastor John McClain. And Colin Riley. So we were talking a little bit at the break, and I'm like, let's stop talking. Let's get this on the show right here. So what are some of your advice? Because our next guest is just starting his journey right now as an entrepreneur, right?
He's a sharp guy, though. I got
super sharp
the pleasure
guy.
to meet him in the break room there.
He has this aura about him, you know?
Just like, it's I think I've been working really hard to put it off myself, because I know it's important to people, and people don't realize, but it's called respect. he has this aura of
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, like, especially with our younger generations, and I say that even being a 39-year-old man myself, turning 40 soon, that some perceive me as being a young man, and I really try to pour on the respect because it's important.
Yeah.
I mean, and it can make or break,
Yeah.
particularly from what we're talking about,
Yeah.
business or
Yeah.
interactions or things with people, because you look in the wrong way, or you just kind of the wrong wind hits them the wrong way. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Colin, if you were to sit down with Dante, our next guest, what kind of advice would you give him right now?
I think history repeats itself. So if somebody has really been disciplined and worked hard, I mean, for me and my wife and I, we really encourage our kids to do competitive sports, do hard things, take tough classes, don't bail them out all the time.
Nice.
And so you tend to rely on those experiences.
Right.
And so obviously for a professional athlete or a Division I athlete, he's learned to kind of be mentally tough. I think there's a lot of failure that is generally in the path of entrepreneurs. And so we were just talking on the break that, you see a fancy house on the hill and a beautiful car, and you envy that person, but you don't see the path of blood and tears to get there.
Yeah.
And it's oftentimes through the struggle that you learn the resiliency. But obviously, I think for me and the blessings I've had, I would rely on finding a good mentor, fail fast, get really good at something really fast.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, I love that. To feel
You're
fast.
a smart man. You got a big old brain. How do you fit that inside your head? Yeah.
Well, the curlers every night, they put on my
that makes
hair.
sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
So, as you see yourself moving forward, I mean, who you mentioned mentors, and I know there's a few groups, and Wyatt Chambers is a common connection.
Interesting.
How
Okay.
much
That makes sense.
do you continue? Yeah, how much do you continue your studies as a mentor? I mean, as an entrepreneur, even after more 2+ decades.
I think there's been seasons where you're coasting, and then you realize you talk about that respect. With that comes humility, and even in your success, I think it's good to recognize that there's things you really can't control in life.
Yeah.
And so you have an open hand. God gives you opportunities. He takes them away. He grows you. And so I think I lean into those groups, whether it's, listening to speakers or diving into good books. Be a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
There's always things that you can improve on. And I think the minute you coast, you get into trouble.
What do you think is your greatest advantage as an entrepreneur, and what's an area that you want to improve on the most?
I think we are willing to take calculated risks.
Yeah.
And as you get older and you build more, maybe the risks become less appealing. But I think we have some of our greatest opportunities when we polled other people. What do you think about this? 9 out of 10 said, you probably shouldn't do that. And so there are windows in life that close and open, and it is kind of first to market. Can you do it? Can you make a calculated decision? Is the reward, does that offset the risk? And I'm grateful for those things. And obviously, as we build more track record and knowledge, those decisions become easier.
Yeah. Do you have a group of people that you implicitly trust with some of your ideas?
100%.
That you have? Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys that are in different industries. But again, there's timeless principles that kind of, are not industry specific. And so you can, it's all people.
Yeah.
It's all people, and it's all management, and it's all, being able to take challenges head on and overcome obstacles.
Yeah, literally over the last 20 years, John, Colin and I have kind of crossed paths a little bit, but this is obviously our first real conversation we've had.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
so
wild.
it's
I feel like I'm like seeing history unfold before my eyes.
when it was
You haven't had
assured,
lunch together or anything?
No, when it was assured that he was going to be a guest, I'm like, that is cool.
Is
I finally
it
get to sit down
realistic
with this
that
dude.
were you really going to be able to sit down and have lunch? Do you think that's
My
a thing?
treat. It'd be
Yeah.
great. I'd
Okay.
Do you
love
think
to
your
have
brother
lunch
be
with you.
game to join us
Sure.
as well?
You bet.
Yeah, I've met his brother a few times.
Because that's one of the
yeah.
goodies. That golf, coffee, and hikes are like the little goodies I learned in business, or like to invite people to go do. Because I mean, there's just this business or just relationships in general is a relationship business. Like you have to go and you have to put your face in front of other people's faces. Like even with family, like I saw probably maybe 40 family members this weekend. I'm
no.
exhausted even saying it.
I'm exhausted just hearing about it.
Yeah, but I built such good bonds with them. Reaffirmed those bonds that I had with them because I put my face in front of their faces, and we reminded each other that we're both humans.
Yeah.
I think the older you get, the more you want to spend your time intentionally.
Right.
You know, and your really circle should shrink.
Yeah.
Because there's not obligatory meetings or whatever. I want to invest my time with people that I want to be with, and that sharpen me, and I sharpen them as well.
What do you do in your off time?
I do golf. I love golf.
Yeah.
So golf
Yeah.
every Friday. I play
Yeah.
pickleball
Where's
at
your
Tucson Country
court?
Club.
Tucson Country. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve Ochoa has been telling me he's going to take me over there.
Yes.
Maybe Chris Edwards as well.
Yes, I see both those guys out there.
Doug Martin took me to Omni just recently. I'm not sure if you're
it's a
buddy
great
with him.
course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know Doug Wilbur.
Yeah. And El Conquistador's $22 after 3 o'clock.
Twilight Special.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've become a pickleball lover too. So
Yes.
I don't know if you guys grew up playing tennis, but it's,
You have friends with JD Delgado?
No, I don't know JD.
He's apparently one of the local names in pickleball.
Oh.
So you're gonna cross.
Well,
him
that's
if you
according
really
to JD,
wanna
though.
Yeah,
That's
well,
right.
He posts the pictures. It's on Facebook.
I
If
could
it's on
post
the
a picture,
Facebook, it's
too.
official.
Oh, it's official.
It's
Yeah.
not the old man sport anymore. It's like a giant ping pong
Yes,
table.
yeah.
It is really fun.
And you have to be a name if you want to buy a legit pickleball team.
Really? Wow.
There's somebody that
Some status involved.
off the show.
I've been thinking about getting
talk about
into
it,
it, but I'm just already competitive enough. I don't want to really
you
start
you
making
need to be
enemies with
like
people.
like a Tom Brady or a Devin Booker or whatever. Because I
Yeah.
know a dude. You probably know him as well.
Uh-huh.
The guy is loaded, and he inquired about buying a team, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Well, who are you? We don't care.
Interesting.
We don't care that you have all this
Okay,
money.
gotta have the pedigree.
We want influencers
Marketing
as well."
tips by Sean Campbell.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
no.
I
I'm
get
saying
you.
that they should have let him
Yeah.
buy it because he's a
Uh-huh.
really good dude,
Yeah.
successful, and just because he didn't have
They'll
like a
learn.
name,
That's why they need you as an advisor.
nah, it's okay. That's all right.
No.
I got my plate full as it is. Right
Yeah,
now.
you
I got my
do,
plate full as
man.
it is.
It's good. It's good,
Yeah.
man. You keep doing good things. You got good friends like Colin here.
Mhm. How can someone reach out to Colin if they want to get a hold of him?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a good question. I mean, they can certainly call my office,
Mhm.
520-882-9200. I'm
Mhm.
pretty approachable. We kind of have a policy that we're always hiring in a
Okay.
way. If the
Okay.
right person comes along, we're going to find a spot
Well, who
for
are you
them.
looking for?
I'll know when I
You're
see
good.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I think we obviously want to align our values with people,
Yeah.
but again,
Yeah.
I think those that are willing to do what it takes, work hard, never bend or
Yeah.
compromise,
Yeah.
but who have great work ethic.
Nice.
And we dropped the number and all the contact information, all the goodies.
Yeah, we did.
Man,
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
ready.
We are.
we're pros.
Dante's got his work cut out for him to top this first half
Man,
of the
and
show.
I look forward. Hopefully, we can have you back in the future.
Yeah.
I certainly
He's
feel
gonna
like
be back.
that.
He's
you're
gonna be
just
back
like
next
I feel like we
month
just
and a
kind of
half.
like
Yeah.
got a little bit of water out of that well. It'd be nice to fill that bucket all
There's
the
a
way.
lot of
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah. Well, this is the Marketing Corner with Sean Campbell. On 10:30 a.m. The Voice. I am Pastor John McClain of Veteran Rescue Mission. Go to veteranrescuemission.org. You'll find out all about this show, the Common Good Media block with all the cool shows and everything we do. We'll be right back.
And we are back for the last two segments of the Marketing Corner with yours truly, Sean Campbell. We still have John McClain with us.
Yep.
That was
so here.
Cool first two segments with Colin.
Well, this is just a cool show, man. I think
Oh,
you
man.
still are wrapping your head around
Yeah.
the depths of kind of
Yeah.
how cool your show is. I guess it's because we're still dealing with billing with the show, and
Yeah.
that's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we're just really blessed to kind
Mhm.
of just be able to just put the knowledge bombs on people.
And I love every week there's somebody new reaching out through me through Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or just coming up to me saying, I want to be on your show. And I'm like, get in line, buddy. Get in line.
I mean, like we say regularly, and I mean, it's like, thankfully I give all the grace to God, so I don't feel bad, gloating about the work that God can do. With my show, Common Good Radio Show, that's been going on 3 years that we've done it, because of its popularity, and you've seen my popularity rise in our friendship,
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
the people around us.
Yeah.
I've been able to be on different radio stations and, really
Syndicated.
syndicated and, been able to, make friends
I
like
know.
with guys like
Yeah.
Bill and, and stuff like that. That's just like, who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
A little old boy from Chandler, Arizona. Yeah, I'm guessing Dante, our next guest, he
Yeah.
has probably his story where he's just like, one time I was just a kid, I was just out there just freaking throwing
Yeah.
rocks with my friends and jumping my BMX, and I didn't think that, here I am, and now I have dreams of this next level of this proportion. I'm so blessed to be surrounded with these people, and like you're saying, our last guest, of the theme or that of our guests was finding a mentor, and finding people to lead you that you trust and get them around you, because with that, they'll show you where the next doors are and tell you how they walk through those doors and how they achieve what the things that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
So I look forward to hearing what his goals are. He seems.
Yeah. So these last.
My assessment of you, Dante, was. I'm sorry, I've been taking this
No,
over.
no,
I'm just
no.
feeling. I just got back from Atlanta, Tennessee, and Savannah. My wife doing some amazing stuff, so I'm just in my groove. My assessment of you, Dante, is you've learned. You still hold on to something that most your generation, and even my generation, because I'm right in front of you, don't have. Is you're a respectful dude, and I really appreciate that about you. I got that from you right away, and I look forward to hearing more about you.
Yeah. So we have Dante Smith, former U of A linebacker. I'm honored to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
And we got our first two-time guest, and Bill Spurbeck.
First guest.
Why are the two of you in my studio right now?
Yeah,
Tell
looking
me.
handsome, dressed like each other.
I can't tell the two of you apart.
Well, until I take our shirts off and then I outdo Dante.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
So also
wow.
with Dante, not just former, as of last year, he played. And then
Yeah.
March 16th, he's got his NFL Pro Day.
Yeah.
Oh,
So his
man.
chance to go
Yeah.
to the NFL.
That's why you're looking especially yoked right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Do they rank it off the yokeness or?
I wish.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that'd be nice, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, so my morning start, 3:30 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
3:30 in the morning, I train from that to 8 o'clock and then relax for the rest of the day. Take care of business,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Work on this.
So you like they say in the military, you do more by the time most people wake up than most people do all day, huh?
Most definitely. And by
That's
the time
it.
they're getting
That's
home,
cool.
I'm going to sleep.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. So what are your aspirations?
one, play in the NFL
Mhm.
as long as I can.
Mhm.
Two, get this company started and, build some wealth.
A company? You
Yeah.
have a company getting started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
With the help of Mr. Bill, Run It Up Fitness,
Mhm.
pretty much just for athletes, inspiring athletes.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we have a thing that we build ourselves and pride ourselves on.
Mhm.
Success is only rented, and the rent is due every
Mhm.
day. So
Mhm. How much of being a collegiate athlete at your level are you bringing to what you want to do right now with Run It Up Fitness?
pretty much everything, because that's part of what I did. Like
Mhm.
how you do anything is how you do everything. You gotta attack everything the same.
Mhm. Not to disparage the previous coaches or whatever, but there was obviously a little bit of a change when Coach Fish came in, right?
Right.
So what did that teach you about maybe culture, environment, management, leadership? And when you have that new set of coaching staff in there, what was the difference in the locker room?
Look at you, your sports head question.
Well,
That was
I've been
good.
waiting
well
for this.
done.
I've been waiting for this.
Gee.
Nothing's written down
Okay.
either. It's just
I'll
boom.
take you more seriously.
ESPN's going to be calling me after this.
I'll tell you the biggest difference, especially with Coach Fish coming from the NFL.
Mhm.
He prides himself on like wringing the towel dry.
Mhm.
He wants to get everything out of you.
Yeah.
Whether it's a meeting, whether it's going to community service, whether it's
Mhm.
training, getting extra film, he will get everything out of you.
That's
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. I like
And
that.
I mean, being U of A grad myself, and I love
Bear
all
down.
sports,
Mhm.
right? I'm not one of those
Bear down.
people
all the way.
who are going to be in the stand and I hate the fair weather fans. You have no idea. I'll be in a basketball or football game, and if they're disparaging the team, I'm like, why don't you get down there and
Yeah.
be a full-time student and
Uh-huh.
do this, right? So,
Yeah.
but you could see the difference in the attitude the last couple of years with this team.
But I didn't realize how big of U of A is worldwide.
Oh yeah,
So like
Absolutely.
when people say that logo on your chest means
Yeah.
something, we
Yeah.
went to Maui for like 2 weeks,
yeah.
me and my teammates,
Yeah.
and it was crazy. People was bear down, bear down, bear down.
Yeah.
I'm a former swimmer. I was like, what? So it's
That's right.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
rumor has it is going to make you jealous. I got to walk around the not just the Sands Club, but we
Mhm.
kind of went down maybe into the weight room a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we kind of walked on the field a little bit. And
Locker room.
I tell you
Yeah.
what, every player
Jelly.
to the T and coach and trainer,
Uh-huh. Same thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
he had everybody was like Dante. And it was just like, wow, we are with the dude right now.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
bet.
it was just
I mean,
like,
but he, like you were saying, you know, during the break, actually during the
Yeah.
segment last
Yeah.
show, like
Yeah.
he just puts off an aura,
The aura,
you know, an
yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
And that's like, I went to a Snoop Dogg concert probably about 15 years ago. And, you know, it's a concert. He's, you know, 200 feet away from me and
Mhm.
at the amphitheater. And I really don't have any, you know, that much contact with him, but there's just an energy he puts
Mhm.
off. You can tell he has that it.
Yeah.
And definitely,
Yeah.
Dante, you got that it, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to think I have a little taste of that it. But if I had half your it, man, I'd be playing in the NFL right now. I'd be like, what I'm thinking, wide receiver? What are you thinking for me? That's what you said. Well, no, I was quarterback in your comparison.
you're the
I'm a
quarterback.
quarterback,
I'm
yeah.
just a
Okay, I'll
wide
do that.
receiver.
But then I'm going to
the-
have to worry about Dante hitting me. Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, here's one of the things he gets tested on next
Mhm.
month is how many times he can bench press 225.
Okay. Yeah, that was a thing for my varsity team. You had to do it, I think, 6 times to be able on the varsity team.
He's doing it 29 times. right now.
29.
Wow.
Want to get it up, so we'll see how it goes.
What's the goal over
As
30?
many as I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what would you say you're at now?
29.
29.
29. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he could do it. Easy. Easy.
That's magic. That's
I
cool.
did it this morning.
Yeah,
When-
it looked
when,
like
when you
it.
got out
yeah.
of bed.
Twice.
One.
Yeah.
I picked up my 220-pound body out of bed.
Well, we're going to talk about all that and more after the break. This is the Marketing Corner with Sean Campbell on 1030 AM The Voice. I'm Pastor John McClain.
And we're back with the Marketing Corner with yours truly, Sean Campbell. And the last segment, this goes by so fast.
I know.
It
yeah.
does.
But that's because, you know what they say about having fun and
Mhm.
time and that
Yeah.
connection?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an
Yeah.
equation of
Yeah,
to do
this
with
is
it.
the.
I was never good at math, so I was hoping you'd be able to fill me in.
Oh, man. So we were talking a little bit on segments right now. And what we want to discuss in this last segment of the show is how did the two of you get connected, Dante
Yeah.
and Bill, and that mentorship?
And let me say real quick, I did promise that Dante, when we give Dante's phone number later, I promise that his phone wouldn't be blown up.
Yeah.
So people out there,
We
when he
promise that
gives
now.
your contact information to get his advice or connect with him in any capacity, please don't blow up this man's phone. This man's just out here trying to live,
Yeah.
just trying to get his life together. So
Yeah.
unless you really want to help him out, you know, we know you could probably watch a YouTube video. You think he's a handsome man. He does some good 225-pound bench presses, but don't harass him. Okay,
Not too
I'll
much.
leave it alone.
So, Bill, why do you want to mentor Dante?
So probably over probably the last 20 years or so, I've been mentoring different people.
Yeah.
So I met Dante through a former U of A football player back from the early 80s, David Adams.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And Dante, like you said, was very respectful and stuff, and we just
Mhm.
kind of connected
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
from that point. And
Is that why me and you connected so well?
yeah,
That's what I'd like to. What I was saying last segment is like why Dante resonated with me, because like what I like to think of myself, like I really go out of my way to respect people, and particularly to respect my elders, because like that's serious. Like people get that, they see that resonates with them, and it
Mhm.
resonates with me.
yeah, and going back to the respect, right? We took Dante out, my wife and I, for
Mm-hmm.
his birthday lunch last month, and I was parked like 4 cars away from my wife. I said, "Okay, bye, see you tonight." Dante says, "No, you're not walking to the truck by yourself," and so I got in trouble that night.
Nice.
Interesting.
Nice.
So that type of respect.
Yeah.
There's a few other ball players that I mentor too, but
Mm-hmm.
it just Dante's got the focus, the drive, the need. He's got,
Mhm.
proven winner,
Mhm.
not just in sports. He was Pac-12 All Academic,
Mm.
studying
Oh.
finance, which is
Yeah.
Yeah.
finance is pretty difficult to begin with, but
Yeah.
throw football on top of
Yeah,
that.
you can. Yeah, you can tell he's. I mean, I don't think anybody's the stereotype that they associate anybody with, but you can tell that Dante, he's a solid dude. He's just a good
Mm.
character individual, and you know,
And,
and
he's,
that's
and it's like a sponge.
yeah, That's
Yeah.
cool.
And, well, just what was your previous guest name that just left?
That was Colin.
Mhm.
Colin. So he just
Yeah.
met Colin,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and so Dante's starting to pick his brain
Yeah.
Nice.
about,
Yeah.
and he does that. So with running up fitness, setting up the LLC,
Mhm.
the trademarks,
Mhm.
formulating the project, all
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
we're working together on that. And then I like to get him involved, not just me as a mentor, but as an example. I got asked to meet with a couple people a couple weeks ago about investing and buying into a business, and so
Mhm.
I brought Dante to
Mhm.
that so he could
Mhm.
understand that, right? So
Yeah.
trying to get him that well-rounded perspective.
Mm.
Of
Yeah.
it.
So Dante, with since your time, hanging out with Bill, what are some of the things that have been the most eye-opening to you? Because there's a lot of things that, and I'll be honest, and this is a way different era, right? So I graduated from the U of A, marketing degree from Eller. But honestly, when I spent a week with my first marketing gig with the owner of that company, I learned more in that week than I did at Eller. I'm not disparaging
Yeah, no.
education at all, but being in the trenches, I learned more in that first week, riding around with this guy for like 50 hours that first week, right? So what are some of the things that maybe have opened your eyes that you didn't expect that you've learned from Bill?
Well, my biggest thing was like you meet people that's good in the community and you expect them to have on this facade, but he's just all real all the time.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to integrity and just telling people what
Yeah.
it is, face value.
Yeah.
And, and very intelligent.
Yeah.
Very
That-
intelligent guy.
That's
Yeah.
because I went to NAU.
Oh, jeez.
Don't talk about them.
Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing is, I think that granted, intelligence, and then just even definitions of things, kind of it varies from person to person. But I think maybe that intelligence you see from Bill, and it's what I see, and why I sit down at the Bear Down Kitchen with Bill regularly, or at least not as regularly as I'd like, but regularly, and we just talk because he gives me the same respect that I give him. Which that's not the case with a lot of people. That's the crazy thing about people our age is just like, we'll pour in that respect like overly, especially being, colored men in America at all, particularly in the West here, we're at 6% black population in the city, where it's like, we'll respect you a gazillion percent, and sometimes we'll get -% respect. But when we meet someone like Bill or Sean, my co-host Andreas, who don't have, who aren't from a black background, that give us that equal respect and sometimes even more, and are like, hey son, hey brother, hey, let me show you the way. It's like, okay,
Yeah, and
I surrender.
And Dante and
Yeah.
I have had conversations, right, about growing up black and, my wife being in law enforcement, how we've asked that question,
Yeah.
what, how do you feel
Yeah.
about that stuff? So
Yeah.
I'm learning from him,
Mhm.
right? The relationship goes
Mhm.
both ways, right?
Mhm.
And it's just enjoyable.
Yeah.
I have a number of friends that are successful, financially
Mhm.
here in Tucson that I don't like spending time with them because it's all about me,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Look who I am. Look what I do.
Yeah.
It's not a two-way conversation. I'm not learning nothing from them
Mhm. Mhm.
on it. So
Yeah,
and
and that's and we were talking about this during the break, and I'm not going to put any shade on family members, but we have that with family members, and it's and those are, they say you are the top 5 people you hang out with, and there's a lot of things that kind of go with that, and that's our family as well. And sometimes those boundaries that we have to even put on our family's members, because we're vulnerable to them, we're vulnerable to our friends, we're vulnerable to the people we let close to us more than we are other people. So you got to be careful with that. And your mentors, like me choosing to have Sean in my life, me choosing to have Andreas in my life, me choosing to say, Bill, please, can you sit down with me, have lunch with me once a week and be in my life? That's because I know that I do have other people in my life that, I want them to be able to fulfill that role and be the model that I would like, but they're not.
Yeah.
So I have to find other people to fill those roles.
right, you pick your friends, not your family.
Yeah. You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your friends' nose.
Yeah, you can pick.
Right.
Yeah, you can pick your nose. You can pick your friends. You can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friends' nose.
That's it.
There's a clip for Instagram right there. So Dante, what's the biggest area in business? You're just barely starting your journey right now, but what's the one area that you need to learn more of, in your opinion?
Especially just real estate.
Yeah.
That's the way to build wealth.
Mhm.
Definitely
Mhm.
learn that.
Yeah.
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 Is there anybody that you've met so far that's kind of giving you a little bit of insight on that, or is it just something that you've?
Actually, a lot of people, but
Mhm.
Mark Irvin's one of the guys, and then Peter,
Mhm.
and then Saka Drax. I can't. It's hard. He's Greek.
We're
He's
having
been teaching me a lot.
we're having lunch with Humberto
No.
Friday,
Oh,
Lopez.
that dude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on Umberto.
They're name dropping. They're name
Yeah,
dropping.
as they
all
should.
over.
Yeah.
So,
You not
you know,
drop all the right names so people know what names to pick up. For
Yeah.
sure. So
No,
before,
but I wanted to get him. Again, he has
Yeah.
an interest in commercial
Yeah.
real estate, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I've never been afraid to go to the top. And I'm friends with Humberto, but
So even as a lumberjack, he accepted you for lunch, and you guys know each other, even though you went to NAU. What?
yeah.
What was your question, John?
I heard something. Somebody told me something about what are the first words out of UA graduate mouth?
Uh-huh.
Would you like French fries with that?
Oh, man.
And my wife said,
do you
U of A.
really want this guy as a mentor?
Yeah,
You
I'll
know.
keep
My wife went to U of A, and so she says NAU stands for not a university. So
Ooh,
Well, it's
that's a good
almost
one.
I mean, as much as I see Bill at the U of A, he might as well be
I
like an
know.
honorary U of
I
A
know.
member.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
like-
it's all good fun.
I
I
like-
appreciate it.
yeah,
But
definitely.
the idea I was thinking is like before we kind of jump in to run it up and like wrap up, like what you guys do and how you can help people who want to just get right. Because like the thing I liked that you said about that, and we talked about it again on the show, it's like a reoccurring thing on each show. It's like themes just keep coming back around.
Yep.
It's like it's all about intentionality and staying on top of it and saying, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just stay on top of it. That's what it's gonna do. Like I'm, a vet, obviously. So that was what a credo of my life, and then why I've been able to accomplish what I've done. But and going into the NBA or in the NFL rather, what does that journey look like for you moving forward, and what can we expect from you in the next 6 months, a year around that?
So the journey is pretty much like making sure that I take care of, one, my pro day, and two, connect with some teams to see wherever I fall on.
Mhm.
Then have a good rookie camp.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty much it.
I know we can't ask this, but pretend no one's listening. Give us 3 or 4 teams that you wish you could play for right now.
I want to do that, but I can tell you, somewhere warm.
Right,
right.
Yeah, I like it warm too.
he wants
yeah,
to stay
for
in the
sure.
warm areas.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
time I watch a game that has ice on the field, I think, I couldn't play professional football. Sorry. So I don't care how much money they pay me, I couldn't
Who
do
was,
it. But that was just me in the cold. We just have this like
Who was your favorite
traumatic
team growing up?
situation.
Never had a favorite team.
Never had a favorite team.
That's
really?
cool.
My
Do you have
favorite team
players?
was whoever's going to pay me. So,
Oh, there
Do you
you
have
go.
favorite players?
of course, Ray Lewis,
Okay.
Mhm.
Mike
Game time.
Singletary.
Okay.
People
I
like
went
that.
to high school with Terrell Suggs. We
Oh, yeah,
played
yeah?
sports together. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I'm sure that's a name that's pretty familiar to you. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
It-
that's cool.
It was funny. Dante didn't even know who was going to be in the Super Bowl.
Mm.
I ended up telling him like 3 or 4 days before the Super Bowl.
He's
I've been
focused.
so busy with stuff.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's focused.
Speaking of focus, run it up, kind of wrap up like who should be reaching out to you if they want to kind of connect or maybe share ideas with you on that, or just how they can get a hold of you if they just want to, support you or kind of connect with you in any way.
Everyone's welcome. Please connect with me at 512-589-0017. I repeat, 512-589-0017. Reach out.
512, what type of number is that? Where's that
Austin,
from?
Texas.
Oh,
Austin.
okay.
Born and
Nice.
raised.
Yeah, nice.
I lived in
Awesome,
Austin
man.
when I was young.
I heard good things about Austin. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
visit. I heard there's a little
Yeah.
tiny house village, actually a big tiny house village out there. I've heard good
Yeah.
things about.
Changed a lot, over the past decades. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for joining us, brother. We definitely appreciate you being here.
Thanks for
Mhm.
having me.
And I'll be having you on my show soon if you'll have it. for
Sounds like
sure.
a plan.
Yeah. And you as well, Bill.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for being a brother of another mother,
Yeah.
and father, and different cousins and uncles and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. This is the Marketing Corner with Sean Campbell. I'm Pastor John McClain. Thank you all for listening. You're all amazing people, and you got to get the goodies, so you're welcome, actually.